Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. It was 8 o'clock. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Mahimacharan. M. Rakal and few other devotees were present in his room. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to talk about his spiritual experiences to Mahimacharan. Mahimacharan Chakravarti was a resident of Kasipur and an admirer of the master. He frequented Dakshineshwar long before the devotees from Calcutta could come. He did not believe in avatars or incarnations and professed to be a spiritual seeker on the path of knowledge. On festive days, he would come to Dakshineshwar clad in an ochre cloth to show himself to others as a spiritual seeker. He had a large collection of English and Sanskrit books. Once, when Narendra and another young devotee visited Mahima, who told them about his library. Looking through the books, Narendra found that many books had their pages uncut, showing that they were not read. Narendra had a great fun relating this to Sri Ramakrishna later. To explain complex concepts like Maya, the illusion or ignorance, and Mahamaya, the Divine Mother, Sri Ramakrishna frequently used simple examples such as scum on a pond and so on. The water in the pond is covered with scum. If you push aside the scum, you can see the clear water. But within a short time, the scum covers it again. Maya is like that. Maya is also an ignorance, which makes it hard to understand the concept of God. Sri Ramakrishna says it is a cosmic illusion on account of which the one appears it as a many. Mahamaya is the Divine Mother who created the world to play. Sri Ramakrishna gives example of Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita walking in the forest. Rama walked ahead, Sita in the middle, and Lakshmana came last. Lakshmana was only 2.5 cubits away from Rama, but he could not see Rama because of Sita. Maya is just like that. Because of a presence of Maya before him, the Jiva is not able to see God. Swami Vivekananda says on the nature of Maya and illusion, quote, Maya is not a theory for the explanation of the world. It is simply a statement of facts as they exist. That the very basis of our being is contradiction. That everywhere we have more through this tremendous contradiction. That whenever there is good, there must also be evil. And whenever there is evil, there must be some good. Whenever there is a life, death must follow as its shadow, and everyone who smiles will have to weep, vice versa. Unquote. Swami Ranganathananda says in his book of Message of Upanishads, all our activities and relationships, all our worldly desires, ethical strivings, and religious aspirations lie within this net of Maya. Thank you.
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं विगृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. O Lord, your nectar-like words reveal the burning misery of afflicted souls. Your words, which poets have sung in verses, destroy the sins of the worldly people forever. Blessed are they who hear of your vast glory. Blessed indeed are those who speak of you. How unparalleled is their bounty. Not many mothers are there to wish anyway. Happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day brings to memory so many things. The beautiful Chandi says, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matru Rupena Samstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Salutations to the principle, mother principle, which is in all beings. We should note, it's not Ya Devi Sarva Strishu. No. Sarva Bhuteshu, in all beings. Only criterion is you should not be a machine, you should be a being. That's all is the difference. So the principle, wherever compassion, care, concern are there the mother principle is active. As such, the mothers have our special greetings, and all beings in general have Mother's Day. So I'm continuing where Gajpana Mataji had left. And as Nityatmaprana mentioned, Sri Ramakrishna is speaking about his spiritual experiences. The idea of incarnation is not very easy to comprehend. Sri Ramakrishna says, long before people speak about me as an incarnation of God, you ask them who they are. Somebody is an actor, somebody is a doctor, somebody is a clerk. How do they understand about incarnation? It isn't that easy. To understand the concept of incarnation, there should be inner development within. Until and unless one has, at least in a rudimentary form, the idea of divinity, it's not. We all speak of incarnation just like parrots. Parrots say, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. We also are saying, oh, the incarnation, incarnation, incarnation. What do we mean by that? It depends upon our evolution. That is what Sri Ramakrishna says. Before these people could speak, great men, great people had come here and declared, oh, they were professionalists in this, in spirituality. People like Pandit, Vaishnav Charan, and Gauri Pandit, great sadhakas. They came, Bhairavi Brahmani, great sadhika. They came and declared, not the actors and directors and doctors and school teachers. No, it's not so easy. And it's natural for people to doubt or to not comprehend. But it's through the grace of God one does come. If we have understood the concept of incarnation, then we should say we are blessed. There is divine grace which has enabled our intelligence to grasp it. Hence, there's no wonder that Mahima Charan is skeptic about it. And Sri Ramakrishna has been explaining about his spiritual experiences, how the awakening takes place, everything detailedly. And speaking to the devotees, he comes down. Sri Ramakrishna came down to the floor and sat near Mahima Charan. And Yam and few other devotees were near him. Rakhal also was in the room. Master to Mahima, for a long time, I have wanted to tell you my spiritual experiences, but I couldn't. I feel like telling you today. How blessed you must have been. You say that by mere sadhana, one can attain a state of mind like mine, but it is not so. There is something special here, referring to himself. See, the master himself is declaring, because he knows this in this age, man's intelligence or understanding or his mind is stuck in the physical body, Anyagata Prana. He can never comprehend the subtle realities. So, Sri Ramakrishna, being Yoga Sahai, who has come to help all who are progressing in the path of yoga, at least who have tried to lift their leg and keep. They haven't yet kept one step. They're trying to. For them also, Sri Ramakrishna is trying to help and trying to give some clue for them so that we can hold on to this idea and go deep. Hence, he comes down. He comes down. It may be that he's coming from his cot and coming. It's a symbolic. Incarnation is the divinity coming down, coming within the axis of our five senses. We can touch him. We can love him, feel him. All this, we can grasp him within our senses and mind. And Atman is buddhi grahyam atindriyam, beyond the senses, but it can come under the pure buddhi. So Sri Ramakrishna is trying to act saulabhya, what is called as. In Sanskrit, they call saulabhya. It's transcendental, but it makes itself easy to understand. That's the concept of incarnation. God himself comes down. So Sri Ramakrishna comes down, sits with this soul, pure souls who are there, to explain to them this concept of incarnation. So he corrects them. He makes him understand, but this type of mind, you cannot get it by sadhana. This is something special about me. Rakhal, M and others became eager to hear what the master was going to say. Master, God talked to me. It was not merely his vision. Yes, he talked to me. Under the banyan tree, I saw him coming from the Ganges. Then we laughed so much. By way of playing with me, he cracked my fingers. Then he talked. Yes, he talked to me. He's asserting again and again that divine can be realized, and he was divinity itself. For 3 days, I wept continuously, and he revealed to me what is in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. It's not easy to cry for God. I remember when we read newly all this book, we were very much us. If we cry, God will come. So try to cry. I think after 3 minutes, I forgot. God, 3 minutes, I think I must have shed tears. At 3 minutes, thought went somewhere. So that won't do. It's very difficult. I think Saint Teresa says, for some nun, maybe picked, somebody must have said, and she was crying. She said, don't waste the tears. Tears are very expensive. They are very, very precious. Preserve them. Transform them. Then it will become a vehicle to go towards God. So one day, he showed me the Maya of Mahamaya. A small light inside the room began to grow. A small light inside the room began to grow. And at last, it enveloped the whole universe. See, small light, spark in all of us. We can learn from this. We cannot deny that. There is a spark in all of us. That is sure. Like how the Mundaka Upanishad says, Sahasra Shad, Prabhavante Sarupaha. Well-lit fire, Yatha Sudhiptat, Pavakat, Visfulingaha, all the sparks are coming. Sahasrasha, thousands, but Sarupa of the same, because one spark can create the whole fire. We have seen, we know it, how one spark from this end of a road, it goes to the other, and there again it catches big fire, bushfire. So the spark has the same capacity, same potential as the big fire, and that is in all of us. And when that light When we recognize it, when we recognize that light and feel one with that light, then the light starts illumining our intellect, mind, and as the barriers, obstacles are removed, greater it becomes pervasive. So that was what Sri Ramakrishna was saying. In with Sri Ramakrishna, of course, there is no obstacles at all. Shuddha Sattva, not just Sattva. So the light was just. So he says, one little light became huge and it pervaded, enveloped the whole universe. See how many ways the mystical experiences of Sri Ramakrishna he's trying to, if not, we never would have got all this. It is in, see, we know in the Bhagavatam, we see Sri Krishna eating the mud, and when the mother says open, see, the whole Brahmanda cosmos in his mouth. No explanation, nothing. We have to take it. But here, Sri Ramakrishna is here. He's telling us his experiences, how fortunate we are that we have got everything. He is explaining here he is there. He's telling, this is how I saw. Further, he revealed to me a huge reservoir of water covered with green scum. The wind moved a little of the scum, and immediately the water became visible. But in a twinkling of an eye, the scum from all sides came dancing in and again covered the water. He revealed to me that the water was like Satchidananda and the scum like Maya. On account of Maya, Satchidananda is not seen, though now and then one may get a glimpse of it. Again, Maya covers it. How many things he has said. Whole Vedanta philosophy he has covered just in one paragraph. He says the scum, the reservoir is covered with scum. And he says the water is Satchidananda. See, the scum and all these things are possible only when you come down to the lower planes. You see, in Manas Sarovar and places like that, there is no scum. It's Shuddha Sattva, Sattva. And here, all pollution, everything is there. By the time Ganga comes to Kanpur and things like that, all the leather factories, water, everything goes into it, becomes unusable. You can't drink, so much of pollution. So naturally all this. But in its source, sparkling water, pure water. So the more we go towards the source, the more our minds become clear and no scum. What is scum? Rajasantamas, Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika, mind. This is the scum. Ignorance is scum. And that scum, how does it accumulate? Ignorance of what? Ignorance of one's divinity. And because of ignorance, desires. And to satisfy the desire, karma starts. The circle keeps on going. When the wheel is left, it just keeps on rolling. Karma, again, its reactions, again karma, its karma phala, and it goes on and on and on. And don't know when we started this journey. Still continuing. Amazing is Maya. So, on account of sadhana and purity, a glimpse one may get. Even the firm, clear understanding, the conviction, what's called the Shraddha, conviction, is great help, is a great help in spiritual life. Conviction that I'm spirit, blessed, eternal, and the light spiritual. This idea has to become pakka, firm. A conviction we have to cultivate. That is much more helpful. God reveals the nature of the devotees to me before they are. This is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. I saw Chaitanya's party singing and dancing near the Panchavati, between the banyan tree and the Bakul tree. In Sri Ramakrishna's Panchavati, full of all holy trees. So, what's bakul tree called as? It must be tamal vrik, something like that. I do not know. Banyan tree, all are there. Long, those who have been to Dakshineshwar can see. It's a beautiful place. You can. So, he's a big Sankirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan was going on in the vision. And between, and I noticed Balaram there. See, Balaram is a devotee of Chaitanya, Vaishnavas. He had Jagannath Seva in his house. They belong to, they are Vaishnavas. So I saw Balaram. If it weren't for him, who would there be to supply me with sugar candy and such things? This was simple. So when an incarnation, you can say, oh, you say incarnation, and he's so much worried about his sugar candy. No. Sri Ramakrishna says when an incarnation comes, he too goes through all the, what do you call it? Just like a human being. You call it behavior or whatever it is. He has hunger, thirst, fire, fear, sorrow, everything he has. Sri Ramakrishna himself says, when Sita was abducted, Sri Rama wept. And we have in Sri Ramakrishna, so Sri Ramakrishna was going from Calcutta to Dakshineshwar, to Kamarpukur. On the way, in the bullock cart, he was traveling, and some men came. It was evening or something. So one of the passengers said, these are decoys. Immediately, Sri Ramakrishna got frightened. God knows what he had with him. I don't know, but he got frightened. Then he says, I got frightened. Then I started taking the name of God. Sometimes I said Rama, Rama. Sometimes Kali, Kali. Sometimes Durga, Durga. It was very funny, very nice. And he says, I called everybody. Anyone may. Whoever wants, they can come. Jeta khate, whichever works out. So call all the names, call everybody, whoever may come. But they didn't, they weren't dacoits anyway. So Sri Ramakrishna says, so these things are there. It's a part of life. And when an incarnation comes, he comes and goes through all the suffering. We should not say, oh, Sri Ramakrishna was an incarnation of God. What is cancer for him? No. When he was in the ordinary pain, he did suffer. He did suffer. So his suffering also, we have to take. So, and I had seen, see, look at this beautiful thing. I had seen Keshav before I actually met him. I had seen him and his party in the Samadhi. See, in Samadhi, he had the vision. He saw Keshav Chandrasen and his congregation. In front of me sat a room full of men. Keshav looked like a peacock sitting with its tail spread out. The tail meant his followers. I saw a red gem on Keshav's head. Chudamani. So that indicated his rajas. Now, if you do not have rajas, we cannot make congregations and organizations and lead people. So certain amount of sattvic rajas is needed. Rajo mishrita sattva. Sattva mixed with rajas. So that rajas showed that red gem which Sri Ramakrishna saw in the vision. He said to his disciples, when Keshav said to his disciples, please listen to what he is saying, meaning Sri Ramakrishna. I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, these people hold views of Englishmen. Why should I talk to them? Then the mother explained to me that it would be like this in the Kali Yuga. See, Divine Mother has accepted. This is how it's going to be. They will tell, what? How do you say? Somebody came, oh, Mrs. Ramakrishna. Seeing Holy Mother, I said, Mrs. Ramakrishna. If somebody addresses her as Mrs. Ramakrishna, what can we do? This is how it's going to be. One of our sisters got really, and look at this, look at the way of telling, what sort of a lady is she? I said, no, this Kali Yuga, this is how it's going to be. So don't mind, she's Mrs. Ramakrishna, it's all right. That's all she can come. At least she would understand. That's fine. Anyway, you can address her as Holy Mother or Mrs. Ramakrishna. It doesn't matter. It depends upon how you take it. What's important for you. And then That's how it's going to be in the Kali Yuga. Keshav and his followers got from here, meaning himself, the names of Hari and the Divine Mother. That is why the Divine Mother took Vijay away from Keshav's path. So she gave something and she took something. She gave because these people were intellectual giants. They considered intellectual understanding is more than enough. No, here was a person who could tangibly give them. So he gave them the taste of Harinam, the mother's name. That's what they could take. When Sri Ramakrishna used to sing kirtan and dance, then the Brahma devotees, they were forced to. They were literally dragged in that circle. And they got the taste of Divine Mother's name, God's name. And that is how the name of Hari, name of Lord, God's name, came into Brahma Samhita. If not, it was just intellectual thing and all social, what do you call, reform, social reforms like stop them, encourage the widow marriage, stop child marriage and all that. What is the use? What's the, as a sadhaka, it doesn't mean anything. Ramakrishna gave them something great. There are others who have still let them do it. You have come under within the circle of an incarnation. Now you try to go deep. It is not given for everybody to come under the influence of Sri Ramakrishna when he was alive. And see, no, only few of them came. How fortunate they must have been to come. So for such people, we don't say that social reforms are wrong or anything. But what's important is what we are mentioning is when an incarnation of God has, when he is able to give you better things, why go for all these things? They are a class by themselves. Whoever have come within the circle of an incarnation, they are class by themselves. If not, they wouldn't have come. And when they have come, apply, invest all the energy for the higher things, not for that. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna gave them the taste for the divine name. And there was one particular highly evolved soul, Vijay Krishna Goswami. He took it. Mother took him away. We know how Vijay Krishna Goswami afterwards he went to Vrindavan, completely devoted himself to the spiritual practice. A great soul. Swamiji had great respect for him. And she took away Vijay. See, mother took it. But Vijay did not join the Adi Samaj. So he was with Keshav Chandra Sen, not with. And later on, he left. So pointing to himself, there must be something special here. Long ago, a young man named Gopal Sen used to visit me. He who dwelt in me placed his foot on the Gopal's chest. So even sometimes, very rarely, Swami Sri Ramakrishna would speak about, say, me. And when he says, see, the one who is within me, he kept them, placed his foot on Gopal's chest. Gopal said in an ecstatic mood, you will have to wait here a long time. I cannot live anymore with worldly people. He took leave of me. Afterwards, I heard that he was dead. And he adds, perhaps he was born as Nitya Gopal. Maybe, may not. There might have been something more left. And he came back again to fulfill his sadhana. I have had many amazing visions. I had a vision of the indivisible Satchidananda. Inside it, I saw two groups with a fence between them. So, Satchidananda, it's like a huge circle. In that, there must have been another circle, a wall, maybe of ideas or whatever it is. So on one side were Kedar, Chuni, and other devotees who believed in personal God. On the other side was a luminous space, like a heap of red brick dust, in the dark, bright color, bright orange. Inside it was seated Narendra, immersed in samadhi. So these are all his mystical experiences. What can we understand? Then, seeing him absorbed in meditation, I called aloud, "Oh, Narendra." He opened his eyes a little. I came to realize that he had been born in another form in Simla, in a Kayastha family. That's in Calcutta. At once, I said to the Divine Mother, "Mother, entangle him in the Maya. Otherwise, he will give up his body in Samadhi." Kedar, a believer in personal God, peeped in and ran away with a shudder. It's not possible. We speak of all pervasiveness, our self pervading the whole cosmos. Things like that. It's very nice. It's nice to feel because we are always within the tight hold of our psychophysical organism. So this is very elevating idea. But this experience is not that soothing. When you yourself feel one with all beings, it's not a very good experience. You enjoy the bliss and the suffering, both. So wherever you go, suffering is not there. I mean, it's not without suffering. Even if you have infinite concept of yourself, you pervading every being. So all the beings who enjoy, who are happy, that happiness will feel within. And all the beings who suffer, they are suffering also, you suffer. So suffering is there. Either way, we have to go through the suffering. Even in ignorance, we have suffering. Even in enlightenment. So such visions, such experiences are very hard. Sri Ramakrishna says somebody walking on the grass, and Sri Ramakrishna is feeling that somebody is walking, and it's just imagine how painful it must have been. So it's not a very, what do you call, glamorous experience. It's a very great experience, but we should have that capacity to go through, to feel the joy and the suffering, both. Of course, these people can immediately withdraw themselves both. That's the great thing about it. Anyway, let's not worry because it will never come to us. I don't think it will come. Anyway, so he took leave. And then that man, that one who said that, and again he was born. So where was it? Yeah. So people, the one thing with this dualists is they cannot appreciate the non-dual reality. They always refuse to accept. That is why so much Shankaracharya had to just one small mantra in the Kathopanishad, where it says, Eme Vaishya Vrinute Tena Labhya. If I reveal myself, then it is realized. So that means to say there's a concept of reality. Then how can you say? So to explain this much, I think how many paragraphs Shankara used to explain this. The thing is, they're very adamant. Sri Ramakrishna says everything is possible. That is what Sri Ramakrishna taught us. Don't put limit to God. What I cannot do, what you cannot do, what I can't explain, you cannot explain. That's not a problem. Ishwarar iti kortini. Don't limit God. He can be with form, he can be without form, he can be many more. And see, with a shudder he went away. Can't appreciate it. Therefore, I feel that the Divine Mother herself, who dwells in this body and plays with the devotees. Therefore, I feel that it is she, the Divine Mother herself, who dwells in this body and plays with the devotees. Sri Ramakrishna had two things. One was the devotee and the divine. Bhaktavatar and Ishvara together. For our sake, he took the ego of a devotee and explained to us all these possibilities. If we practice our spiritual disciplines sincerely, we will have something tangible. We will not get out of this world without having something. So he says this. But in him is two ego. One is the ego of the bhakta, and another is divine himself, the infinite ego. So there is Mother herself is there. When I first had my exalted state of mind, my body would radiate light. My chest was always flushed. Then I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, do not reveal thyself outwardly. Please go inside. That is why my complexion is so dull. If my body were still luminous, people would have tormented me. A crowd would always have thronged here. Now, there is no outward manifestation that keeps weeds away. Only genuine devotees will remain with me now. Do you know why I have this illness? It started because this is August 85. So it has the same significance. Those whose devotion to me has a selfish motive behind, it will run away at the sight of my illness. He himself is suffering. What can we get from him? So no use going behind him. So they will leave him free and go away. And here, Sri Ramakrishna is speaking about his complexion. And I see there is a attraction in all human beings for beauty, name, and form. That is why our gods and goddesses are depicted so beautiful. See, none of our goddesses are, I don't say Makali, it's all right. Still, she's beautiful in spite of her dark color. Sometimes, she looks so beautiful. And all our gods and goddesses, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga, and all that, so beautiful. Well, we have got natural attraction for the form, beauty. It's the beauty, or even Sundar. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. The Sundaram aspect of us always seeks beauty outside. So that is why our saints, our great sages, they have given us this picture, this beauty. Our gods and goddesses are very beautiful. So if you want to adore beauty, you adore them. And there's a very funny, nice incident in Sri Ramakrishna's life. During his sadhaka period, Sri Ramakrishna used to suffer from stomach pain in Calcutta. Ganges water would become very muddy and he would suffer. So 4 months he would go to Kamarpur and stay there. So he was going from Kamarpur to Jairambati, visit. Yeah. So he got ready after lunch. A palanquin was brought, and he saw quite a few people. All the Kamarpur people are standing near his house. And Sri Ramakrishna came out. Now all of them are standing there. And he asked, Ridu, why are all these people coming? Why else? They won't be seeing you for some days. And now you look so handsome with this red color silk dhuti, and you are chewing the betel leaf, and lips are reddish. You look so beautiful. So they cannot take away their eyes from you. And that's why, and they will be missing. So they have. At that time, Sri Ramakrishna was really good, not like this. Holy Mother used to say, Mathur Babu had given a big seat, wooden seat. That wasn't sufficient for him. I just cannot imagine how fat he was. So well built, hefty, and very fair, and all that. So must have been at that time. So, and when Sri Ramakrishna heard this, he was so pained. He felt so sad. One human being attracted just for the flesh. What else is this body? Nothing but flesh. And what attraction can a flesh have for another flesh? He got so disgusted. He just came inside, removed his all those silk thing, and sat quietly. Didn't speak to anybody. Sat for a quietly. Just imagine how much of disgust he has won to his own body. Can you imagine the intensity of renunciation and how much we try our best to look as young as possible, as beautiful as possible? Right? This is the difference. An incarnation comes down to us, has all sorts of feelings like us, but this power of renunciation is strong. Just this is what we have to learn from him. These are the lessons. Holy Mother says, somebody told her that the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna is this harmony of religion. She points out, I don't think that is, of course, harmony of religion, what you say is that. It's not that he practiced all the religions to establish that idea. He used to be in this idea of God so much that this is an outcome of his sadhana. But his real, true essence is intense renunciation. Has the world ever seen? Holy Mother said, who else can say this? Holy Mother, who has seen him day in and day out. She alone can. Such renunciation. No other incarnation has set this example. So this is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. We have to imbibe this great idea. It's getting late. Anyway, I'll just read because it's so high Sri Ramakrishna's experience. We have nothing to say. All that is we can appreciate it. If we can appreciate, that means we should think we are in the right line. Our minds are going there. If not, we can't appreciate it. Anyway, the Divine Mother. Again, the thought arose in my mind. I cherished a desire. I said to Mother, oh Mother, I shall be the king of a devotees. Bhaktaraj, indeed he was. Again, this thought arose in my mind. He who sincerely prays to God will certainly come here. He must. See how fortunate we are? Sri Ramakrishna, here means it's not just only Dakshineshwar. Whoever Ramakrishna ideology, who are happy, comfortable with, who can appreciate, they have come to Sri Ramakrishna. And this is his blessing. In his great mind, this desire had come. And that desire will not go waste. It's the desire of incarnation. It's very powerful. And we have to believe this. We have to have faith in this. See how beautiful it is, how happy we feel when you hear this. This thought came to my mind. He who sincerely prays to God, that's important. Sincerely prays to God will certainly come here. He must. You see, that is happening. That is what is happening now. Only people of that kind. That's still happening and it will still further continue. My parents knew who dwells inside this body. Father had a dream at Gaya. In that dream, Raghuvir said to him, I shall be born as your son. God alone dwells inside this body. Such renunciation of women and good. Would I have accomplished that myself? Look at his humility. Would I have accomplished that myself? I have never enjoyed a woman even in a dream. These are powerful words. Nangta instructed me in Vedanta. He used to call, one should not call Guru's name. So he used to call the naked one, Nangta. In 3 days, I went into Samadhi. At the sight of my Samadhi, under the Madhavi vine, he was quite shaken aback and exclaimed, ah, what is this? Then he came to know who resides in this body. See, the incarnation of Sri Ramakrishna is sadhak, to show to the world that the scriptures are not simply words. They have power in them. If one practices all the results we do get, to get this faith, to establish this faith. That's why Sri Ramakrishna himself, God himself came as a sadhaka. Sadhakottama he is, best among the sadhakas. Of course, when God comes, he has to have a bit of his Maya, Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. Of course, he has it under his control, but the Vishuddha Sattva is there. If not, he cannot do all this Leela. He cannot perform the work. Sri Ramakrishna says, pure gold, you cannot make ornaments. You have to have some alloy. Some copper has to be mixed so that it will hold. You can give shape to it. Pure gold cannot be given. So that is why he has come as a sadhaka to show us the truths of the scripture. Then he understood. So not an ordinary person. In 3 days, none of them will get samadhi. 40 years it took for him, ordinary man like Totapuri. And Sri Ramakrishna got it in 3 days. Then he came to know who resides in this body. He said to me, please let me go. Because he was a jnani. So he wanted to go. If he was a bhakta, he wouldn't have gone. He was a jnani. At these words of Totapuri, I went into ecstatic mood and said, you cannot go till I realize the truth of Vedanta. See? And that is why he had to stay for 11 months. He never used to say more than a week or something, 3 days or at the most a week. But he stayed for 11 months because he had to learn much more from Sri Ramakrishna than imparting Sri Ramakrishna. So his lessons had to be completed. So Sri Ramakrishna held him. That was the great attraction, Yoga Maya. That is a Hladini Shakti, that attraction the incarnation has. 11 months, a person like Totapuri, he stayed in Dakshineshwar. It's unimaginable. He's a wandering monk. The day and night I lived with him. We talked only Vedanta. The Brahmani used to say to me, don't listen to Vedanta. It will injure your devotion to God. Constantly saying Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. You will forget Shakti. So she's afraid. So she said, don't, my child, don't listen to him. I said to the divine mother, yeah, anyway, because I started the line, I will finish it up. I said to the divine mother, mother, please get me a rich man. If you don't, how shall I be able to protect this body? How shall I be able to keep the sadhus and the devotees near me? That is why Mathur Babu provided for my needs 14 years. What faith Mathur Babu had, because it's very difficult to maintain the faith constantly. The lamp of faith never was shaken. It was burning bright. Two people. In Sri Ramakrishna's life, we have Mathur Babu, and in Swamiji's life, we have Josephine Mackler. Once given, it's given. Never. It never decreased. The lamp was always burning bright. So, see, even he has concern for his body. How shall I maintain? So these are, when an incarnation comes, he too has this problem. And why not? There's no escape for us. But the thing is, in spite of all this, he is established in his real nature. He knows. So this is what we learn from him. 1,000 things may happen. Disease and death, old age, these are all there. But still, we carry within us something precious. To be aware of that is what Sri Ramakrishna is trying to tell us. Thank you.
So this Thursday, we had the yoga class from 10 to 11:15 a.m. On Friday, we had the Bhagavad Gita discussion led by Pravrajika. And as we've been announcing, we have a very special event next Sunday. The panel of speakers with the theme From Inner Peace to World Peace. And it will start at 2 p.m. And please note there's nothing in the morning next Sunday. This event goes from 2 to 4 p.m. And happy to believe we've got quite a big turnout. I'm expecting quite a crowd. And I've reached out to some of you to help with the managing of it. We would probably have some new faces showing up, so I hope you could keep an eye out to see anybody new, just to help them out and settle them in. And we will conclude with afternoon tea. So we will look forward to that. The last Sunday of this month, we're having a meditation day. And as usual, that's all day from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and includes morning and afternoon tea and lunch. And Hiroko very kindly is available to run a relaxation and yoga exercise session. And we'll have, of course, talk on meditation, discussion, guided meditation, walking meditation, usual program. So let us know if you plan to attend that with our planning. Now we will conclude with a guided meditation, which I'll conduct, giving a few moments to set up for that.